Okay. So Dhananjay and Mrunal, can you ping me in the chat window your REPL account? Yeah.
Right. I have pinged you. In the
Okay.
chat. Yeah.
Okay, while this is going on, there are a lot of learners who have joined in today. Around 10 of them are here right now. So, good evening and welcome all. I mean, for some of you who are regulars in the session, it will be suddenly a shock that, yeah, there are people talking about sharing REPL IDs and new faces coming over here. So, hi everyone. Okay, let me just turn on my video. Hello everyone. Hi, this is Jai Krishnan from the IIT Madras team. Today's session is slightly unique. I hope all of you would have received the announcement of the Python programming exam, and it is going to be conducted in portal, is what we have told. So just to add on to that, we have roped in a few of working professionals from industry. So we have a few developers from Persistent Systems Limited joining us in this session. And the purpose of these sessions, so what we are trying over here is they will do live coding along with you, so that they will talk about what are like good industry practices in Python. And soon you are all going to move towards either a diploma or a diploma in either data science or programming. So some industry perspective into programming is what we are trying to inculcate. And yes, so today we have uh, Mrunal Kulkarni, Dhananjay, and anyone else, Dhananjay and Mrunal, from Ashish is also there. So, and Kalpesh, so we have a 4-member team, right, Kalpesh? Anyone else?
Yeah, JK. Nikhil also is joining, I guess. So 5 people
Okay.
with.
Yeah, so we have, along with our course instructors, we have 5 people coming from industry to help you out in coding. The major objective behind this entire exercise is to make you write code and also tell you how to approach problem solving while you are coding. Okay, so with this short invite, I will now turn off my video. The questions that we will be discussing today will be from the activity questions that we have published in week 10 in object-oriented programming. So yeah, so that's it from my side. I hope I've made the context clear. Any questions from any of the learners till now? How many of you code during these sessions? How many of you are, okay, first I want to know how many of you are first-time coders among you? Can you just post it in chat so that the team will also know? Okay, so there is Sunita, who is a first-time coder. Yeah, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So out of the around 15, 16 odd students, we have more than 50% who are first-time coders. So yeah, yeah, Kalpesh and team, I think you have your task cut out. You have more, almost 50% or more first-time coders in this session. So yeah, so I'll leave it to now the course team and the team from Persistent to take over this session. Thanks everyone. Kumar, you can start. Yeah. So Mrinal and Kalpesh, yeah, if you guys have selected some problems, we can start with that.
Uh, uh,
Okay, thanks,
yeah,
Jake.
Mrinal, go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, good evening, everyone. So today, I think the last week, week 10 was done for the core. So we can start with that problem statement. I'll share my screen.
Okay. Mrunal, I shared my
Yeah.
referral to Dhananjay. Uh,
Okay.
from user ID, I'm unable to share. If you can send me or shall I share to your persistent email? I think it is working with the email.
Sure, Kumar. Should I share with you the persistent email ID?
No. I have it in the mail, so I can share.
Okay. So Kumar, share screening has been disabled for me. If you could enable that as well.
Kumar, you can make
Yes.
Mrinal as a co-host. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Probably I'm not able to make you co-host. Let me ask ITM.
Akshay, can you make Mrinal Kulkarni as a co-host?
Sir?
Can you make Mrinal Kulkarni as a co-host for this session? I'll just ping you. Yeah.
Okay, sir. Yes, sir. Done, sir.
Okay, Mrinal, can you try now?
Yes, JK, I'll just try. Host disabled attendee screen sharing. It says it's disabled right now as well.
Can you just try now? I think you have been added as a co-host now. You can just, it may take a minute to.
Okay. Yeah. It's visible now. Yeah.
Okay. And Mrunal, I shared my referral to your email ID now.
Yes, Kumar. I can see the week 10 activity. Yes. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Is my screen visible?
Yes.
Yeah, Mrinal, it is visible.
Okay. Yeah. So good evening, everyone, once again. So week 10, object-oriented programming concepts were covered, I think. So if anyone could just put in the chat what a OOPS concept, we can start with that, and then we can continue with the problem statement maybe. Okay. Maybe we can start with the problem statement then. So this is the problem statement that we have. Yeah, so create a class name book. So in the OOPS concept, we have classes function. So that is the basic that we have in OOPS concept. So if anyone could tell me in one word, maybe what is a class function? Hello, am I audible?
Yes. Yeah. What type of definition you want?
Yeah, so basic maybe what are classes functions?
If the function is defined inside the class with a self argument, we can say that it is a method of that class. Class is
Okay.
method is nothing but the function itself, but it is the tightly packed with the class. So we can take that whenever the object is called, it is associated with the self argument.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Uh, so yes. So this is the first problem statement we have. We create a class name book, and it has the following attributes. So those are name, author, pages, and gen. So let's create a class. So Kumar, is it fine if I continue in this, or should I create a new one over here?
Okay, you can create here also, but means every time we have to remove the code from here. So probably
Okay.
we can create a new file here, dot
Okay.
py file. Yeah, on the yeah there is a add file button. Yes.
As
Okay.
named as a problem 18. 10 problem 18. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is the init function we have where we initialize the attributes that they have shared with us. So these are the basic attributes we have. So we can start with initializing them. Yeah. So is it clear till here? So it says invalid syntax. If someone could recognize what is the syntax error over here.
Yeah, so this is a question to all those who are in the session right now. What Mrinal is asking is, she has made an intentional mistake in the syntax. If you could identify what the syntax error is.
I think there is
Sir, comma is missing between author and pages. And the spelling of genre in definition and is different from what is defined in the definition of the initial, that is constructor.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you so much.
So Mrinal, have they identified the errors correctly?
Yes, JK. Yeah, yeah. So as we can see, we do not see any syntax error over here now. So yes, so we can continue further. So the next thing that they say in the problem statement is that we create a function which returns true if the book belongs to fiction category and otherwise it is false. So if we give a book that is Harry Potter, suppose it is a fiction book. So if we give that as a book, it should return that it is fiction. Otherwise, it will return it is non-fiction. So we can write that function next.
Murnal, sorry to interrupt.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's another file called week 10 activity in the same place on the left pane. Yeah, no, not here in the REPL itself. So
Okay.
if you click on that,
Mm-hmm.
click on that. So on the right window, actually you can see that MD file markdown tab. So uh,
Okay.
okay, there is a bar above the markdown. So just make it smaller. Yeah.
Okay, okay. So we can see the problem statement here itself. Okay, okay. Yeah.
Yes,
Thank you. Okay.
no problem.
Yeah. Yeah. So the next function that we have is function. So let's write that.
Murad, it's fiction.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. So if the book is fiction, we have it as return true. So here, one thing we can do is by default, we can keep that as return false, or else we can write else and give it as return false. So both the ways we can do it, because we have only one if condition. So by default, it will be false. Only if the if condition has been met, we can keep that as return true. So here we can just have else, or we can keep that as return false. Yeah.
Can we
So
say
the sorry. Yeah.
here we can write also in one line. We can simply write return self dot gender equal to fiction. Also, if you say only one line is the
Sorry, you're not audible properly. Please, could you repeat?
in the line 9, 10, 12 is there, no?
Okay.
Instead of that, in the line itself, I can write return. Yeah, return.
Yeah. So it's he's asking about ternary operator.
Okay, okay, okay.
No,
Sure.
return.
Yeah.
Yes. Return self dot gender equal to fiction. Yeah, only
Sure.
that is, we don't need to write then 10, 11, 12.
It's not
Right.
ternary operator, just return that.
Right. Yes, this should. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah. So the next thing that we have is if the book is non-fiction. So we can specify that if the book is non-fiction, we can write that over here. So if so now, as suggested, we can directly write over here about non-fiction as well. So over here, if we know about the Python compliance according to how we write the code, over here they have specified if is non-fiction, and we have capital F over here. But according to Python compliance, we should have this F also as a small thing, small letter, lower letter. So this is one change that we can do over here according to Python. So it won't give you error or warning, but according to the Python compliance, we should have this F as a small letter. Any questions over here?
All functions should be of small letters. Is that what you meant? I mean, all function definitions.
Yes, they should be small
function,
letter.
Function name. So
function
this
name.
is function name. So we can have it if underscore non underscore fiction also, or non fiction if keeping f small.
Okay.
Okay. So we know words. We can differentiate word using that underscore. Okay. Like is fiction. So is underscore fiction. So is underscore non underscore fiction. These are three words. So we can use underscore. So this is the base convention. So as per the Python coding convention.
Line 6, is it supposed to be self.genres or genre?
Okay, yeah, we can have it as self.genre. Yeah. Yes. Okay, so the next thing that they see is time to read. So it is return the string 5 day if the number of pages is less than 100. If returns the string 20 days if the number of pages lie between 100 and 500. Return string infinite if the number of pages exceeds 500. So we'll start writing with the validations. So if so over here we'll first so over here it should be less than equal to 100 because even if okay, so if it is less than 100 it's only then we have it as 5 days. So if it is equal to 100 or greater than 100 then we'll have it as 20 days. So we can have greater than equal to 100 and self dot pages less than 500. So over here, if someone could suggest if we could optimize this a bit.
On line 18, you can remove the condition pages greater than equal to 100, and on 20, you can on line 20 you can remove completely.
Okay, but then okay, so you can write infinite by default. Okay.
And you do not need to check this pages greater than equal to 100. You can directly have pages less than 500 because anyway, if it is less than 100, the first if condition will execute. So you do not need to check it again.
Okay. Okay. Any other suggestions?
I wrote from the 16 to 21 line, no? I completely replace with that for loop. So can I give my code that it is better to if I give?
Yes, you can share it in chat maybe, so we can try it over here.
Okay, I'm one second. That's the code I have written.
Okay, let's so could you explain what you have done over
Yes.
here? Yeah.
Yes. What's happened here? Since whenever that else if condition is there, then as in the previous live session, sir was describing about the OR gate, how OR gate is working. So if the 2, 3 boolean is connected with the OR gate, then we check continuously one by one. If any single is coming the true, we just escape that, isn't it? So
okay.
So I did here. All the condition I put in the only one array. list, which is the condition is there. And that condition, I loop through the condition in conditions. If condition, see, in the condition, first there is a nested list. So in the nested list, the first element is condition. X is lesser than 10, 100. And the second element is the what is the output will be there. So X is already, I redefined that X equal to self dot base. So condition automatically will become true, false in the list itself. So once I run through the loop, so I simply write if condition 0, means if it is the true, it will simply return the condition 1. That is a statement. So moment it will come to the true, he doesn't have to check further. That is the ultimate the meaning of else if, no? Because in else if we are going one by one. So one single element is coming the true in the journey process from beginning to end. I just skip the loop from there. So I use that
Kumar,
concept.
here also it will iterate, right? If my
Yeah.
first two condition is false, it will iterate to my last third element, right?
Oh yeah, yeah. No, I'm telling that this is the same. I just converted the entire else if in the for loop. So how much here we can how much increase the else if I can simply put in the list only one list.
Right, right. There are two problems I see. First, it is very difficult to understand this code. So, being a like software engineer in the industry, you have to make sure that others also understand the code. So if you see, I'm not able to understand, like I have to literally look at the code and check whether it is coming true, whether it is coming false, right? So that is my one problem. And the other problem is that it is consuming if you see condition, right? It is consuming a reference into my Python stack, right? It will consume some amount of memory. It won't be that big, but if you have a large element, let's say like 10,000 element, it is going to be a problem for your code.
No, see that I thought that if there is a else if, then I have to write the 10,000 1,000 else if condition. No, instead of writing 1,000 line there, it here always is the fix for the 4 line because all the condition is going only in the list and ultimate all the LF two line condition is only in 1 line fitting. So doesn't matter here the condition is 1,000 or 500.
Mhm.
Actually never happened in the real, so it will be only 1 line. That's why if we see that carefully, no, I know I thought something, then I designed this. Then it will be if you understand, then it will be further code will be in very less line. And
Okay, okay.
I checked that it was working perfectly. Can
Yeah,
you
it will work. No, it will work. If you see logically, it is going to work. But okay, that's cool. That's cool.
Yeah. So
Okay.
we can consider
So
this is,
yeah,
yeah,
so
sorry.
see what you so to all the learners who have joined, there are two different things that you see. So Kumar, it's a good attempt where you have so it's a I mean you have written less number of lines of code to execute the same thing, whereas the earlier one it was more descriptive and where I mean each of the I mean as you most of you would have done in CT, it would have been written in that particular format where everything is very clear and lot more number of lines have been used by Mrinal in the first depth time to read. What Dhananjay, who is part of the team, what he was trying to say is many a times when you go into industry, what is going to happen is you will be working on someone else's code. So a majority of times, the readability of the code takes higher precedence over the total number of lines of code. Uh, and yeah, so the other aspects, definitely the memory optimization and all those things work. But I think primarily this is the point that you wanted to convey, right, Dhananjay?
Yeah, definitely, yes.
Yeah, so Kumar, what you did is right. So, but this will work. But suppose many a times in software industry, like all of you are learning Python, and hopefully you will now take up other courses in the diploma level for either in data science or in the programming diploma, where you would want to work on projects and other things. So what typically happens in industry is all these code has to be maintained by someone, and whenever you want to make changes, you will write lots of lines of code, and hence the readability of the code is equally important as the logic. And that is what we wanted to, Dhananjay wanted to highlight in this section. But even with all this, there might be another way in which we can actually try to simplify the code. Right, Mrinal? You wanted people to attempt that also, correct?
Right. Yeah.
So Kumar, very nice, very nicely done. You have actually given an alternate idea. Really appreciate it. Can the others now think of another way in which you can simplify? No, you can keep that, Mrinal. You can keep that in an alternate function. Time to read one, maybe. Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah. So JK, just wanted to add a few more points. So it depends on team. So I have seen that in two different module teams may use different kind of coding. Okay. So it depends on team also. So some of them prefer whatever that DJ Dhananjay suggested, and some of them prefer whatever the Kumar suggested. So it depends on team also. Okay, so company. Okay, so it's you can say legacy. They keep legacy. So if you I have seen that two different module teams use different kind of coding conventions. So that depends on team also. Yeah.
Sure.
So just wanted to add. So it's not right or wrong. It's not right or wrong. It's so everything is correct. So it depends on team. So so legacy. Whenever you follow legacy codes, like we if we are taking some project from some another way. So whatever they are following, we have to follow, or because we have to follow that same thing, because we want to keep that code in sync. Because even if we are taking over that code, so we have to follow that. Okay, so it depends on team also. Okay, or legacy, you can say, that is being.
Yeah.
Okay, I hope.
Yeah. So yes, a valid point. Yeah, it also depends on what the programming. What the team also initially developed and started off with. So yes. So yeah. So it's not about whether it is right or wrong. Again, yeah, I also want to highlight it. This is not about right or wrong. The logic can be implemented in multiple ways, and we want you, because this is a simple coding exercise, right? So different ways of doing the same code we want to explore with all of you learners. So if you could, from learner side, if you can think of one more way of doing this, then we will have 3 different versions of the code with us. In the next term, you will have a course on programming and data structures and algorithms, where you will identify what is the complexity and all those things, how much time, memory, etc. are required. All those things will be detailed next term. But for now, what we want to look at is how do we solve this problem in multiple ways. Okay. So can some other student also suggest a way in which we can rewrite whatever Mrinal has already written in Time to Read? Give it a shot. There is no wrong answer in this session, and we have people from industry here to help you out in the coding part of it. So give it a shot. Right? If you think there is some simple way in which this can be done, that would be. Yes, I see a lot of ways in which it can be simplified. Is there anyone who wants to give it a shot? Mrinal, maybe you want to give a hint to them as to how.
Sure. Yeah. So maybe this we could reduce, else if, so like we are writing 2 times, we are writing save dot pages again less than equal to 100 and this thing. So maybe we could optimize this one statement. So this could be one of the hint that we can optimize this over here.
Does somebody
I
want
think,
to just?
yes, sir. I have already pointed out that we can remove self dot pages greater than equal to 100, and you can remove that. That is not required. We can only check for the pages less than 500.
Okay. And suppose if we want to keep that as well and we want to write it in one line, if someone could suggest that.
Then you can use 100 100 greater than equal to pages less than 500 in single line.
Okay, so else if
100, yeah, 100 less than equal to, yeah, less than 100, less than 500. And
yes.
there also with 100 you have to use less than symbol, less, yeah, less than equal.
Yeah, this can be one of the ways that we can write.
Here from the exam perspective, just to clear the problem statement, when you have between, generally we don't take up the first and the last values, right? I mean, if it is between 150, we wouldn't be taking 100 and 500.
So that depends on the problem statement as well. So what are the if conditions that you have? So it also depends on that. So over here we just had 3 conditions. Suppose you have some in between conditions where you will be needing this. So there you will have to write this between conditions. So it also depends on the problem statement that you have. So here of course, yeah. So here of course you can just write it less than equal to 500, less than 500. But it also depends on the problem statement that you have.
Clarification that I was checking for, like if they say between, do we include the first and the, I mean the between numbers? We generally include the ones which are in between, right? Not the start and the end.
Nita, that totally depends on the problem statement. Wherever they says that the end points are included,
okay,
you should understand it as a closed interval.
Okay.
Mrunal, please go back to the .md file once. Sometime REPL doesn't show up this markdown.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So that would be specifically mentioned, you mean to say?
Yes. So in this question, it is clearly said that if the value is less than 500, then 5 days has to be returned. If the value lies between 100 and 500, then 20 days.
Okay.
And other interval which is more than 500, then infinite has to be returned.
Fine. Thank you, sir.
Okay, no problem.
Yeah.
Mrinal, there is also another interesting solution that that has been shared by, I think, Sandeep Bishwas. Elif self dot pages in range 100 to 500.
Okay.
Will this be a valid solution?
Yeah, it should be valid. Yes. We could use that as well. Yes.
And here the range, the lower and upper limits are used, or only the lower limit is included, right? Or both are included over here, like what Sunita just asked, when you put range 100, 500.
So here it says it should be between 100 and 500. So we have specified over here the range between 100 and 500. So we could also here, because we have it in between, we specify the range. But if it is only less than 500, if it would have been just less than 500, then we do not need the lower range then in that case.
Okay.
So in this question, actually, they want to include 100 and 500 as an endpoint in the second condition. So probably the range end point should be 501 to include 500 also.
So it says between 100 and 500. So if it is between 100 and 500, 500 would be included. So the next thing, if it is 500 and above that, then it will be infinite because it says between 100 and 500.
Actually, the third condition states that infinite if it exceeds 500. So from that, it's sort of concluding that the second one should
Yeah.
include 500.
And in pandas, like we have a between function also, where like we can include lower and upper limit. Between
Okay. Okay, so here we could write less than equal to 500 in that case, so that we have included. So over here, what will happen is because we have used less than 100 and less than equal to 500. Okay, okay, yeah, yeah. So this will work. Yes. So this looks fine now. Should we move further?
Yeah, one thing here I want to just add that the last the function is there, no ma'am, 15 to 20 20. So
Okay.
we have written line number 19, self dot page less than equal to 500. In that there is a one condition, no, that if the number must become that 0 to more. If number is not coming, suppose some number is negative, so I have to restrict the user. Since it is the page, the number is positive. Suppose from 0 to 100, it will take 5 days, and 100 to 500, it's taking the 20 days. If someone give that, if number is from coming user input, then he can put the -5, then it will run in that second case.
Right. So we can add validations over here as well. You're right. So
Yeah.
we can keep on adding validations over here. So even in the first if condition also, we've written less than 100. There also, if you write negative condition, that will be satisfied over there as well. So if you write -5 in the first if conditions also, it will be satisfied. So we can keep on writing more and more validation over here. So yes,
Yeah.
your point is right. Yes, yes, yeah, yeah.
So like, unlike C, we can directly write validation to validation simultaneously. Like it is like greater than equal to 0 and less than 100.
Yes, yes, we can write that. Yes, yes, yeah.
Yes, Aditya, we can write that, and that will be covered in the forthcoming lecture. In the week 11, there is something called functional programming. There we will be introducing uh, these concepts. So just wait for week 11. Yes, Murna, go ahead.
Okay, okay, yeah. So the next thing that they see is create 3 different objects. So we will be creating objects of this particular class. So we take book1 equal to book, and we specify the attributes over here. So the first attribute that we have is the name of the book. We give it as Harry Potter Part 1. Next, we have it as author. We give book 2. So let's give this as 50 so that we will have all the conditions satisfied over here. Let's print this for book 2 and book 3. So before it runs, if anyone could identify if there is some mistake over here or if it is fine.
Yes, line
From
number
the
32 parenthesis should be there.
Right, and also
30.
there is,
Yeah.
yeah, okay.
Ma'am, the 20 days condition, we are not checking for 100 pages.
Okay,
Line number
let
19.
we are not checking for.
We are only checking for less than or equal to 500. We are not checking for, the condition is we have to check for more than 100 pages, 100 or more than 100. So it should be at least 100 less than equal to self pages.
Okay.
Okay. Mrinal.
Yeah.
Yeah. Uh, please, please click on the cross button on the console. There is a cross button on the right, top right, and try to rerun.
So
Okay.
Mrinal, okay, the problem is this. Whenever you click run and replicate, it will run the main file. So you have to import this in the main file.
Okay. It won't run directly. Okay.
The fiction spelling is wrong.
Okay. Here as well, it should be non-fiction. So here I'll have to include it over here, Kumar.
Yes. Please import this week 10 underscore problem 18.
So I'll just comment this part right now.
Mrinal, you can go to the shell and use Python and filename and
Okay, yeah. That works better. Yeah.
You
Thank
would
you.
include needs the file name .py.
Oh, week 10.
for the learners, do you think there are some errors in the code or it will work fine?
In the book 3, line 32, 600 is a string.
Right, right. Yeah. So it will throw
Uh,
an error over here.
Yeah, don't go in a synthetical way, like obvious class and class level design way you can see any error or this code will work fine.
Mrinal, it is WEE, so not weak.
Oh, okay. Okay. Typo error. Okay. Okay. It does
Uh,
not print over here.
yeah, Mrinal, you have to move that outside the class and the content.
There is a return statement before it if you see. So bring it ahead.
Yes. Yeah. So it gives true for the first one because it is a fiction book, book 2, and for the second one because we've given the number of pages as 600, it gives us as it is infinite. So does this look good?
So can anyone tell why it was not working before? Like we were not able to print anything.
The indentation was wrong.
It was not getting returned
Okay.
actually, or printed like print or
Uh,
return should be used when like
No,
calling a
is it
function.
that or the code was
There was no
intended inside
function.
the class?
There was no function call itself in the main program.
Yeah, the actual issue, what was there was the indentation basically, because in Python, the indentation is very important. The code was intended inside the class. And it was not uh, like we need to create the object outside that class where it is defined. So that is the reason we were not able to print anything. And once the indentation was corrected, it is working fine. So in Python, you have to be very careful with the indentation of the code, what you write. Yeah, Mrunal, you can go ahead. Ethan.
Yeah.
Can you
Okay.
please tell
Okay.
me where the indentation, you corrected the indentation?
Yeah. So I'll what how was the code? I'll yeah. So what was happening is because this code was inside the particular class. So we have this class over here. Inside that class, we had initiated the objects. So that is the reason we were not able to run the code.
And the print
Yeah.
statement should be, or print, two print statements also should be outside, you need to say.
Right. So because we will be calling it outside, right? So here when we call this function, once we have initiated the object, we will be able to uh, write the print statement and call that particular function.
Okay.
Yeah.
So a simpler way to avoid this mistake is calling these methods in the if name equal to main.
In main method.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So the next problem statement that is related to this. So the next one that we have is file reading. So we have this CSV file that we have. So let's save this file. Okay, so let's read this. It says, read this file in Python, create an object of class book that was introduced in the previous problem for each book that you find in this file. So this is the same class we have. So we can take this same class. Okay, the next thing it says that read this file. So can someone tell me how do we read a file in Python?
Open and call this
F
file.
dot open, like file dot open, you can directly open the file
Okay.
name, comma read.
Okay. Any other way?
Like, or directly use the file name, don't need read. Yeah, with
This
also you can
is
use.
one of the way.
This can be with now.
With open, this is
Yeah. Okay. Are there any other ways? If you are you aware about CSV reader?
That is pandas pd.read csv.
No. If we have normal import CSV.
So actually, Mrinal, we haven't introduced even with, so the context manager
Okay.
itself we haven't introduced. So
Okay.
yeah, but yeah, you could go ahead and introduce maybe. Yeah, perfectly fine.
Sure. Yeah. So there is a library called import CSV. So if there is a CSV file, we could directly read it with CSV reader. So what it does is, yeah. So this is how we can, I'll just, so what it does is we have this CSV reader and it iterates through the CSV file and it creates a reader object for you. So this is the reader object that has been created. We can specify a delimiter over here. So suppose now we have comma separated over here. Suppose you have semicolon separated or you want with tab separated or space separated. So accordingly, you can use the delimiter over here on what basis you want to separate the file, and accordingly that there is a CSV reader that is created. So once this has been created, we iterate through this reader. So there is CSV writer as well. There is dict reader also. So we can create dictionaries as well. So like you have, this is the header that you have. So if you create a dict reader, that way automatically you have a dictionary created with the name as Igniting Minds, author as Kalam, genre as non-fiction. So accordingly you have that dictionary created for you. So that is the automatic dictionary that is created if you use dict reader over here. But because we do not have that right now in problem statement, we could directly use csv.reader. So now suppose let's print this line and see what is the output that we get over here, so that we know what is the output that we get.
I'm Renal.
Hi, yeah.
Does this require importing any library, the csv.reader, or is it an
Yeah.
inbuilt? Okay, you have done that.
So
Okay,
yeah, we need to import CSV over here, and then you will be able to use the csv.reader.
But ma'am, actually it is not defined. So I read that without CSV also.
Okay, you could suggest some other way to read a file. Yeah, sure.
Can I share my code?
Yeah. Please share it in the chat.
That is the code. I use the simple method of the file reading like as a text and without CSV.
I'm sorry, I think you, okay. Let's see this. Yes, you can surely use this. Yes. So I just wanted to introduce a new type of reading file. So yes, of course we can use this. So this is a easy way where we can use it. But here we can directly use CSV reader. So this reader has been created. So like you have created split over here. If you directly use it is split and we have this object created over here. So this is also one of the way, and this is the second way we can use it.
So the code that you have written is can be used for any text file reading, any file. So even CSV is a text file. It just we have that comma separated values. So
Yes, yes.
it is also a text file. That's why the code that you have written before.
That's why
Perfect.
I use that simply text method.
So the only thing that Murray is trying to make you aware of the library. We have library because in industry when you try to read such files, you have to be very that the reading should be proper because CSV if there is a if there is a comma between values, then you have to interpret it proper. Otherwise, your file reading will mess up.
Yeah, a common example of this is say you have a server running and you want to monitor the parameters like how much CPU was used, how much memory was used at a particular minute in a particular minute. Then this all data gets filled in into a time series database where and a dump of it is say you want to analyze, then it gets converted into a CSV. So if you keep on having using split or a regular way to read the file, then it becomes very tedious. So this library is useful there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Here
now we
that
can see.
sorry to interrupt. Here
Yeah.
when we say f is equal to open in the previous Kumar's code, f is equal to open library.csv. I mean, in the past week when we learned about file handling, we used to mention a read or a write, R or W. If it is not mentioned, I mean, by default, does it take reading or, I mean, how does it work?
Yes, by.
Yeah, default value is R.
Is R. Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. So here we can see the data. So now what we can see is over here the header is also come up. So when we will be processing the file, this is going to cause a problem because this is not the data that we want. This is just a header. So suppose we want to skip the first header. What we can do is we can use next and CSV reader. So what this will do is this will skip your header and it will be, you will get the next data. So now suppose if you check over here, yeah, so we do not have the header over here. So here now all our data will be processed properly when we will be able to, when we will process the data. So let's go to the next part.
So Mrinal,
Yeah.
sorry to interrupt in between. So people who are not familiar with the next method, they can think CSV reader as a list and they can skip the first element using the slicing.
Yes, yeah. So here they have done. So over here, when you have read line over here, so like they've done over here, they've wrote this. Even here, when you write f dot read line, if you do read lines and skip the first one, you will be able to skip over here the first one. So here itself, if you skip the first row, that is the first array that you have in the list, you will be able to process it further. So for this implementation, you could skip the first one. So I'll show that as well. So over here, yeah. So you could write read lines and you could skip the first one. So the first one will be skipped here.
Yes, Mrinal, that helps to
Yeah.
them because they are yet to get familiar with the iterators. So they are not aware of next method and iter method. So in that way, students can still able to process CSV reader, skipping the first row. So,
Yes, right. Yes,
okay.
yes, yeah.
Thanks for explanation. Uh,
Here,
Mrinal.
one more
Okay.
thing in the code which someone said sent, like we have to also convert it into int, I believe, like pages, L of minus.
Yes. Over here, so two things you can do here. You can convert it to int, or else here where we have written the function, here maybe you can specify int. So one of the thing can be done, but it is easier to do it over here. So if you have done pages over here itself, then you do not have to again go back in the function and write int. Yes, you're right. Yes.
So I think, Mrinal, it will be better convention to accept the value as integer for the function, because function will be generic function so that we can use for any of the data. So if you are accepting integer value for pages, then it should be working for all type of data, right?
Sure. Yes. That works as well. You're right. Yes. Okay, so maybe we can write int over here. We'll see. We'll try doing that.
Ma'am, what I did know in the init function is there, no? There itself I
Mm-hmm.
changed that init only, so it is work everywhere. In the
Sorry.
beginning, in the constructor, can you go on
Mm-hmm.
the constructor?
Yeah.
There is
Yeah.
if, here only if I do int, then it is done.
Sure. That also can be done. Yes. So now when we were going through the code, we did not know that suppose it is a string, or now when we check the data, we are able to see that it is text. So in that case, yeah. So all three works. Suppose we can add it in init, we can add it in function, or when we are reading the file, we can add it there as well. Yes. So all these three ways can be used.
Yeah, but sometimes there are some special characters, I mean, which could be sent by mistake by to the class. So for that, we can have a special method which actually handles it an exception, so that we are sure that class doesn't break anywhere.
Yes, so if we have more validations, and as Utkar said, we might have some special characters. So in that case, if we handle everything in that particular function, then we do not have to touch the init method then. Okay. Hello.
Yes, Mrinal. I think that will be right way to do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
What Utkar said, it belongs to exception handling, and that will be coming in the next week. So you will get familiar with how to deal with various type of error that happens during the program, like when you are trying to divide by some number and that number is zero, or some kind of error happens when the variable is not there or not initialized. So those things you will be learning in the upcoming week. So uh, for now, uh, we will be going with the current context. So yes,
Should
Mrinal,
we
please go ahead.
use those thing in the final term, like final programming exam, like on the 1st August?
Yes, for final exam, I think that
No, not for the theory exam, for the practical one.
so I think that that exam should cover all the weeks, right? Means it is the consolidation of learning from all the weeks. So uh, the final exam probably should cover all these topics that we covered from week 1 to week 12. But I think I will ask JK to come in and
So to answer that question, okay, who asked the question? Was it Sunita or
I asked the question.
Yeah, so the answer to that question is yes. August 1, ideally, we will have private test cases, which may be some corner scenarios that you may have to also tackle. I mean, the public test cases will, so it will be the same programming portal where you are currently submitting assignments and you are checking the input output testing, right? So, yes, you may have to think of corner cases also while developing the code for the final exam. But okay, so specifically, you don't have to remember about too many libraries or yeah, those. I mean, whatever we have taken in the units, only those libraries. The questions will be from those contexts only. It will not be anything different.
Just one more thing, like you have covered that aspect, so that's why I'm asking, like, are we allowed to use pandas and numpy like whenever we want in the code finally?
Yes. So if you think pandas can help you, yes, you can use it. Are you currently using? I mean, did you try any programming assignment?
It was mentioned that like till this week 10 it won't be available, but after that week 10, like week 9, after that when numpy pandas will probably in week 10, 11, 12, so there
Yes.
it will be available in the portal. That's why I asked.
Yes. Yeah. So week 10, yeah, we are expecting, pandas will be available after, this week. For the final exam, you can use pandas. That should not be a problem. But for all those people who are not familiar with coding or not familiar with libraries, it is absolutely not a problem. You can continue using the same logic. I mean, you can work with the logic that you feel more comfortable with. Aditya, does that answer your question?
Yes, sir. Perfectly. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So as we can see in the data that we have been provided, the first one is the name, next is author, gen, and I think there is a language also specified over here, but we are not using it over here. So we can skip that and we have taken directly pages, that is line number 4. So here also exception handling should be handled. So this data, suppose we do not have that data in correct format. So here also exception handling should be handled. So you have that in the further weeks. So there itself it will be covered, I think. So we can move further. So the next thing that they say is store all these objects in a list name library. So let's create a library list. Create a object. So we have name, author, pages, and genre. And we create a list. So we do library dot append these objects. So this is the list of objects that we have created. Is this clear over here?
Okay, question to all participants. Did you understand line number 49 to 53? Can someone say what is happening in line number 53? You can post it in the chat.
This library, which object that you created, it is being appended to library. Is it in the form of a tuple or is it a list of lists?
So this is the object and this is a list. So you are appending each object into a list. So this is a list that we have created.
Okay. If I print that library, how would it look like?
Sorry?
print the library list, how would it look like
Okay.
is what I'm thinking.
Okay, let's see that. You will check how does it look like.
It will look like that something memory at the address, something object type of notation, object at some particular address.
You are in cell, man.
Sorry. Yeah, so if you can see, this is a list of objects that you are able to see. So this is not in readable format. You will be able to see objects. Okay.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So the next thing that they see is look through the list of books in library and create the following sublist. So the first sublist that we want is all books that relate to the fiction genre. So let's iterate through this list of objects. So we want to see whether book dot so if book dot is fiction, in that case we can print the name of book maybe. Next thing what we can do is if 20 days to read. So if book dot time to read is equal to 20 days, and the next thing that we have is all books that are written by J.K. Rowling. So here we could even directly use book dot author is equal to Rowling. Does this look good according to what they have asked?
Shouldn't that be less than 20 days time to read?
So here we have specified, right? If it is
It's also 5 days.
right, it is also 5 days and 20 days also. Yeah, right. So do we specify both the conditions or how will you handle this over here then?
Either not infinite or specify both.
Okay, not infinite. In only one condition we will be able to do that. Any other way?
So Munal, shall I interrupt here?
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
So the question actually, what I understood is, it is asking for those books which are taking less than 20 days. So the next candidate is equal to 5 days, right?
Right. Okay.
So I think we should mention the condition as equal to 5 days. So that will
Okay.
give all give the book which are having reading time less than 5 days, 5 to 20 days. Yes.
So does less
Okay.
than 20 days include 20 days or just only 5 days?
So considering they are saying less than 20 days, I think it does not consider 20 days then.
Okay, then we only need to check for 5.
5 days, right? Okay. Let's try running this. Okay, so we have fiction name as Harry Potter. So this we've just printed. Now what we want to do is the next thing that they say is we have to loop and we have to create a list. So we have not yet created a list over here. So we can create fiction books list. Time to read. And the next thing that we have author J.K. Rowling. So is there a mistake over here? Yeah, it's fine.
I'm just curious, why are we adding only the name, not the book?
Yeah, we could add the sorry, why are we not adding
The book object, the entire object.
uh so that it is in readable format. So if you add the complete object, you won't be able to understand. So the thing that we saw right now in the console, we were just able to see the objects, so we do not know, right, which is the book. So that it is in the readable format, that is the reason I am just writing it over here, so that we have it in readable format.
Understood. Fair point.
Yeah, yeah. So let's just print this now. Okay, does this look correct according to the problem statement?
I don't see any time to read. Yeah, that's empty, right?
uh, what is empty? Time to read less than 20 days, right? So let's check the data that we've got with us. Yeah, so nothing is 100 pages, so there is nothing less than 100 pages or equal to 100 pages. So that is the reason we've got it as blank. You're right. Yes, and we can see the author's name books and also the fiction books over here. Yes. So this completes the problem statement part. So do we have any questions or suggestions?
Can I add something, ma'am?
Sorry.
Can I just here I can tell I want to tell something.
Yeah, sure, sure. Yeah.
As the police are asked that where that why we don't use that here append why we using append dot name instead of direct object. So can we object also direct object if we in the class itself we defined a special method double underscore str and there we
Okay.
return the no name, then we can direct use the object itself here, no?
So you mean over here while appending, we write it as str
No,
and
ma'am,
then
not class.
Uh,
In class.
yes, Kumar, you can do that, yeah, using the inbuilt method underscore
Yes.
underscore str or
Yeah.
repr. Yes, yeah. So that is one
Pardon
of
me.
the way.
What you said, like I didn't got it. Like if you can repeat.
Like there are two inbuilt method, okay, underscore str and then repr, okay, which can be used to print the object in a way you want, like in string, and you can modify the string and like display it for the user. Mrinal, not there. Just go to the class definition and
Okay.
write a new method with def underscore underscore str.
So
Okay.
Aditya, what Munal and Ashish is telling is that we can implement one more method like what we have done here as init. So that string method will print some string value, and that value you can define in this string method.
Isn't a
And
str method like inbuilt in Python, like underscore
Yes.
underscore str, like
yes, it is inbuilt and it default to the string. What we have seen, right? Object something that is written, right? Object code. So that
yeah.
it will print by default. But if you want to print something else, you have to implement it inside the class on yourself.
Basically, you are saying that you have to convert it into from string class into a string format, printable format.
Yes. So you have to write your own implementation. So basically, what you are doing is
Isn't like
overwriting.
str object inbuilt capable to convert it into a string?
So few like a few classes can be simply converted, but this is your user defined, right? So it won't be converted as it is. So you have to define in your way, like what objects, what values you want to print when string method is called.
Yeah, so you could use return self dot name if you want, and along with that, at whatever you want to, so you can change the str actual way.
Yes, that's I wanted.
Yes.
So that now there I can use only that object itself. And even right now, if I will display list, it will also come not as the weird notation. It will come by name.
Yes, let's do on the shell we can.
The book name also we need to remove, ma'am. Line 67.
Okay, so we've
What benefit it did?
so here we can still see that as a function object.
Yeah, Kumar. So that string mostly works with a string objects, but if we have a custom object, right, we may have to use REPR method. So, Mrunal, can you just change that STR
Sure.
to REPR? This is a special method which is used to convert object to string representation, which is also inbuilt.
Yes. So here we can see that can see only the book name over here.
Can you explain, sir, how it is that? Because STR is also by default whenever we call the S, the
Yes, the STR works fine, I think mostly with the string
name.
objects, like objects which are only string, like, and not the custom object. Here we have custom objects, right? We have name, author, and all other
But
attributes for that class. So
but sir,
the
in the we are only returning only name, not the entire thing.
yes, you're returning only name, but you're appending the entire object, right, in the append method.
So Kumar, what is
Yes.
happening if you do not have your str method defined in the class? It will call the REPR method. There's another method, private method called REPR. So that will
Okay.
return the object representation. Okay. So to to avoid that, you have to override this string method in the class. So in that case, because here you want to here you want to represent, or here you want to print, when you print the object, you want to print the name of the book, right? So that thing you have to put that in string class, string method.
Munal, I think so. The str method is double underscore method.
Yes.
Yeah. So basically, str is a parent class. That is, if you have something in REPR and have something in str, so str actually overrides the REPR. And if you don't have str, then it shows the REPR one. So if you remove the REPR method and try to run it, maybe it would run.
Okay. So you mean here we have this thing.
Yes. So now have something, have a REPR method as well, and have self dot something else.
Okay. Let's keep
So
that
you will
as
get to know who overrides who. Now print. So in this we get the name, right? So if we have REPR and STR both, then the STR overrides the REPR method. While if we have only REPR, then REPR takes the precedence. So these methods are
Yes,
actually to represent the object type. I mean, it actually shows the memory location, right? And if we want some kind of representation so that it can be readable for users, so we use these kind of methods. Yeah, that's all.
that's correct.
Thank you for the explanation. I think this will be clear to student now. So usually you don't need to use this method in this learning phase, but yes, there are some methods which are predefined in the class and that you can customize as per your requirement. So
so this is the way of overriding the method.
yes.
Yeah.
So I think we are over the time. We are overshooting from what we have planned. So uh, I think we will leave it for here for today, and we will continue this in another session. Probably some more questions are left in activity that we'll try to take up in some upcoming sessions, and we can take up some more questions there. So I hope all the questions are answered. If you have any specific question, you can ask, or otherwise we will try to wind up this meeting. this session for now. So I think one question from Kaushik. He asked about can we use default values when we create object? Yes, Karthik, you can do that. You can do that using in the constructor itself, the init method. There you can use the variable, the parameters, and equal to, and the default value you can put there. So it is something like a named argument.
Yeah, so here you can give a default value over here.
Yeah, but all the default values, I mean, whosoever having, I mean, whoever the parameters are having the default value should be present last, and the non-parameterized one should be before.
Yes.
Yeah, if you could tell and show them, it would be.
Yeah. Yes. So here you can specify it over here. Suppose we have it as. So this is what we can only write it in the end. So suppose you do not write it over here and write it as name equal to. So this will not work. Always the default should be at the last. So if you check over here, it will see non-default argument follows default argument.
The reason for it is that when defining a class, right, you create an object. While creating an object, you might not specify all the parameters, right? So all the required parameters should be first, and all the variable parameter wherein you might specify value or might not. For all those parameters, the default value would be passed in, so that it doesn't break somewhere in between.
I had one question. Can I ask?
Yes, Utkarsh. Yeah, Aditya. What was your
Yeah,
question?
I was asking like, can you tell the major keyboard shortcuts that we generally use? That work like the one is like commenting a line, multiple lines, and like indexing direct shortcuts. Are there any other shortcuts which we generally use?
It's different for different IDs.
No, actually, like commenting shortcuts work for I think all IDs, like, and the indentation shortcuts also works.
Yeah, adding to Ashish's comment, I mean, it's more about key mapping, wherein there are some key maps. If you see, if you use the Java ID Eclipse, so it has its own key map. While PyCharm is another ID, we would have another key map that is genome. So
Yeah.
maybe you can choose a specific key map and set that key map for each ID so that you can have consistent behavior across all platforms. So maybe the most famous one is the Eclipse one. Eclipse, I don't know the key name of the Eclipse ID, but that is mostly used everywhere. So you can try that, and if you want the key maps for that, you can directly find it.
Yes, as Utkarsh said rightly, the key map varies from platform to platform. So, in case if you are trying, if you are using some specific platform, you can look up what is the key map for them, and some some keywords may work there. Some keywords keyword shortcuts may work here, but it's not every time ensured. You may some may allow you customize the keyword mapping, but
Yeah.
it's better to refer to the online help to what is there for those map shortcuts. I think that will help you if you're using any
Murad,
specific platform.
you have that PyCharm, right?
Yes. I'll show the pie chart over here and also the key mapping
So
that we
go to
have
that
in
code.
settings.
Go
Yeah.
to that. Go to code.
Okay.
Settings.
Code. No.
Sorry.
That file is. Yeah. Here you will see the command and the shortcut. you will see that control slash. This is for pie chart. Okay. And similarly, if you are using Eclipse or Atom, you will find such commands there.
Yeah, so you can also customize over here. Here
Yeah,
we
you
do
can
have this
customize.
customize over here. So we have this key map over here. We can customize it over here.
Select that or that, go to that drop down, that genome copy.
Yeah.
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 So PyCharm has this. So you can, if you are, because I was earlier working on Java, so I was more familiar with Eclipse. Even in PyCharm, I use Eclipse schema because I'm more convenient. That is more convenient for me. So you can use such kind of schemas. Okay.
And Ashish,
Thank you for your answer.
not every ID perform this. Not every ID gives this kind of
Only
customization.
PyCharm has this customization.
So like
Eclipse doesn't have it. Eclipse has his own fixed set of schemas.
I was actually asking like for a portal like commenting works, indexing works, the shortcuts which were told like. So
Or
I
replete.
wanted to know like any other shortcuts which we commonly use.
So maybe from industry perspective, Murnal and Ashish, you can suggest some commonly used shortcuts. But that will be again platform dependent. So if you are using Replit, it may work, it may not work.
Yeah. So whatever shortcut that works on replete may not work on PyCharm. And similarly, so if it is working on PyCharm, it may not work. There might be the different keyboard shortcut for Eclipse.
What I would suggest, Aditya,
there is a manual for all IDs. You can go to that keyboard shortcut. Index
just
session, I'll try to share them.
Just a minor interruption to both students and persistent team. Quick question: why so many people are so much worried about whatever we are doing, the new classes or whatever it is? It's primarily because on August 1st they have a programming exam on Python course. I just want you guys also to touch upon some points as to as you saw in the starting of the session, many of them are first time coders, and the more lines of code and the more new libraries they see, they are getting more afraid. As developers who have been working with Python for a long time now, what would be your advice to them in sense of, let's say they're just starting with coding? So the moment they see the program or the problem statement, they almost go blank. That's the kind of feedback that we generally get from learners. So what would you suggest to them? They have almost 15 days to prepare for the exam. Exam. Think of it as another programming exercise, a timed exercise. Yeah, so it's over to Kalpesh and team. Kalpesh, Ashish, all of you, if you can suggest something.
Yeah, can I go ahead, JK?
Yeah, please.
Yeah. So, see, having a library is convenience, but knowing a library is not always required, right? We can do the same thing which library provides with what we have, right? Someone did the split, I mean, the CSV thing to split, that can be done, right? So always knowing library is not important. It's just for convenience. So don't be afraid of it first, right? And second thing is, don't directly write the code. Don't think of Python at all. Rather start writing pseudocode. Pseudocode wherein try to frame a program in form of strings, and then try to convert that string into form of Python. I mean, if consider that you want a number between 100 and 500, write it in string, and then try to frame that same condition in terms of Python. So that would make your work easier, as well as would help you frame the logic easier. Yeah, this is all I had.
Yeah. So the lines that Utkarsh was saying, it's steps. So how will you achieve the problem statement that is given? Okay. So whatever steps that you have, what will you do first? So if you have, like, you have CSV and you have to read, so you have to read CSV. So first you need to open file, right? This is step one. Okay. Then you have to iterate line. So this is step two. So, and whatever you want to process, that will be step three. Okay. So these kind of steps you need to think of before you start reading writing a program for reading CSV. Okay.
Yeah. So to learners, yeah, any more inputs, others, Mrinal, Kalpesh, Nikhil, if you want to add few more points from your own experience? I believe most of you
So
would not have. Yeah, please go ahead.
yeah, I think as Utkarsh said, writing the algorithm or the pseudocode is the first thing that they should follow. So if that is done, then writing a code is just syntax part. So that should be done.
Okay. So for all the learners out there, what it means is just go back to computational thinking that you learned in the first term. Okay. So it is exactly the pseudocodes. Writing pseudocode is what you should start doing. The more you start writing, the more easier it will become for you to write the actual program code. So yeah, so Puneet is saying that he doodles a flow chart to help him visualize the big picture. Yeah, so whatever works for you, it could be pseudocode, it could be flow chart. The idea is to go back to the basics. I mean, the basic of any programming language is it is something like a stepwise or a functional way in which, so there are repeated steps that the system does, right? So what are those repeated steps is what you all have to think of. And that repeated steps, if you look into the codes that we have discussed, there are more than one way to do that repeated step. And all of them are valid, with library, without library, all those things are valid. And you have already completed computational thinking, so you should be confident of yourself. I think, yeah, neither Ashish nor Kalpesh nor Mrinal, they all started somewhere, right? They all started learning. I mean, they didn't come over as somebody who knows programming. Like in Matrix movie, you plug in something and automatically everything goes into the head. It doesn't come like that, right? So they all started off somewhere, and I think so. If I'm not mistaken, all of you guys did enough number of codes, lines of code to get this exposure, right? And you would have made mistakes, right? Ashish uh, and Mrinal, all of you would have done some mistakes at the starting point, right? Whenever you started coding.
Yeah, starting.
Yes,
We
definitely.
still made
Yeah,
mistakes.
actually, we still do. Yeah.
Yeah, so don't be afraid of making mistakes. Don't be terrified on seeing all these new libraries. What we wanted to also show you is that all these things, by making mistakes you will come to know. I mean, you so that is why we have I mean, yeah, we encourage you to try as many programs as possible. So one important message that I would give you at this point is go back to all the activity questions that were that has been given to you in the course. That would give you some more what do you say, some more problem statements that you can actually work on. Take one or two, develop the logic, start coding. And that is exactly what Mrinal did today, right? She took a activity problem. She started, yeah, of course, she started coding because she already did one round of coding herself. So she had already developed that logic, and then she went on to write the code. So this is exactly what you also have to do. Do not worry, do not get terrified. Even see, I am also, I mean, I'm also not well conversant with Python. I also started off with small things. Now, where all you can try it out, you could use uh, any of the IDEs. You could use REPL. You could use your own local IDEs. You could work in Jupyter. I mean, Jupyter is another IDE that many use for Python. You could use Colab, Google Colab. So all of you have a G Suite, and within G Suite you have something called Collaboratory, which is a Google product. So all these are places that are ready-made available for you. All these things work. You could run, you could compile, you can actually see. So each time you develop a code, execute it piece by piece, that will give you more insights into coding. Yeah, like what Nikhil is doing right now. There are a lot of places. So programming is one place where you get enough resources these days. Enough websites are there. And I believe our course team has done a decent job of putting up a lot of questions for all of you. So I counted it last week while we were thinking of programming exam. You have more than 150 to 200, yeah, somewhere between 150 to 200 problem statements given in the course. I would say that would be a good step to start off. I would just open up the persistent team. Will you be able to stay for 10 minutes? I want some of them, the first time coders, to ask questions to developers like you. Will that be all right?
Yeah, I think it should be fine.
Yeah. I will take too much of time. So here what I will do is, all those people who have said that they are first time into coding, please raise your hand. We will give you time to interact with the persistent team now. The next 10 minutes is for that. Okay, I see Rajan who has raised his hand. Rajan, you can unmute.
Yeah, so as you were suggesting, before writing the code, like we have to do pseudo code writing, correct?
Yes.
And at the same time, there are multiple things. One is like developing the logic. So you have like on the one hand, like you have logic. On the other hand, like you have steps, which can be like like you don't know how to start, from where to start. You don't know the end. You don't know the beginning. So this all things like happen simultaneously in the mind. I get perplexed.
Okay.
Yeah.
So your question is, yeah, Kalpesh, go ahead.
Yeah, this is, yeah. So see, only solution to your problem is lots of practice, right? So no one has learned this Python language from the like a childhood. So we have to do practice every day. So like there are a lot of good coding website. If you go to CodeChef, pick up a small easy problems, start doing that every day, 2 to 3 problems. Your logic is going to build pretty fine. And yeah, I think that will be only solution. Like you do practice every day. That will be only my solution.
Yeah, CodeShape and HackerRank is also there. You can use HackerRank. You will see few challenges and you can to complete that challenge.
Yeah. So to add on to what Dhananjay and Ashish said, Rajan, I think another thing is that I would look at is, what is the most smallest problem within the large problem statement that I can do? I mean, anything. the moment I solve that smaller problem, I'll be able to, I'll feel confident. So I'm talking because I also learned Python just 1 year back. Now, I'm not a coder. I'm absolutely not a coder. What I usually did was I solved it piece by piece, and building on that, I tried a lot. Yeah, I did lot of mistakes, and each time I'm trying to solve a mistake. That's how I try to learn. So I've been in your shoes. I know how it feels like. So what I always try to do is, among the large problem statement, I'll find that smallest piece of problem that I'll be able to crack. I start from there. Then from there, I try to build on. That's one strategy that has worked for me at least 60% of the times. In terms of probabilities. Does that help you?
Yeah. So the same thing I was discussing with one of my colleague who is also here. So what he said, you can think in terms of composite function, like f of g, because as you are saying, like a smaller problem inside bigger problem.
Correct.
So yeah, agree.
Yeah. So I'm so happy that you are referring to other subjects while you are learning Python. So it actually shows that something is getting rubbed on to you, which is great. Thanks, Rajan.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, you can lower your hand. Yeah. So the next person is Patrick. Patrick, you have a question? You can unmute yourself. Yeah.
Yes, sir. What I want to ask is, if in the course, if you could give like if there is a way that we can make our own libraries or our own libraries from where we can import the functions, so which will give us the an independence, like whatever we want to use, we can use, and like we don't have to mug up, or we don't have to see like what functions are there in what library and what we have to use. So something like that, if that can be introduced in our course, making a library by our own.
Okay. So yeah, I will. Guys, I will handle it. Kumar, is that okay?
Yes, JK.
Yeah.
Patrick,
Yeah.
I think yes, JK.
Yeah, so Patrick, the idea of this course is only to introduce you to the programming concepts in Python. So creating library. Yes, it is a very nice idea. You should be doing it. But when it comes to, so we have to separate out the academic part of it and the actual what you want to develop. So there is a slight difference in the focus of the course, as you see. There are a lot of other courses where within the introduction course itself, it ends with a large big project. So what you are saying right now, creating your own library could become a project for this course in the next term. But what we see from the current cohort of students, not everyone is at the same pace, right? So the moment we bring in this concept of creating your own library, it becomes too much for people to handle. So that's why we have not gone into that step. But yeah, for all your own problems, I think creating your own library should not be a problem. But I will also ask this question to the Persistent team. How much of this custom libraries do you use in actual industry scenario? Developing your own libraries, let's say for Python, in Python or any other thing for that matter.
For the projects, we don't generally prefer using libraries created by people. So we generally use libraries which are used by other things and which are officially created by some company. Yeah. So
any specific reason for that, Nikhil? Why you won't use?
Because such libraries are tried and tested, and there are lesser chances that those libraries will have any bugs.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
But I mean, from a learning perspective, it is okay to develop your own libraries, let's say as
Yeah.
part of unit
Yeah.
testing or
A set of
other kind of.
utils you can create and put it into your library and use it as a submodule. Yeah, you can do that.
Okay. Okay. So
Yeah,
Patrick,
and
yeah.
JK, yeah, again, due to the security issues also, it's like the based on the security tried and tested libraries are mostly used in projects. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. So I hope Patrick, so you got two versions of the answer to your question. I hope.
Sir, I got that, but there are so many libraries which are doing the same thing. So how to decide which one is the best for some, for some work or something which we want to do?
So yeah, please. Yeah. Does somebody want to take that up? I think it is right into the
Yeah.
developer's alley.
Yeah, Patrick. So that depends on the what is your requirement and which library gives what you want. So the, that is where you will decide which library to use. So there are many libraries which almost do the same thing, but there would be slight difference which may be required for your requirement. So that is where you make a choice based on your requirement, basically.
So yeah, so to give you an example, the same CSV reading you could do with Pandas library as well as the CSV library. Now, as a developer, you make a choice whether to use Pandas or CSV based on the overall utility of that library for the project. Right, Kalpesh? The requirement.
Yes, yes, JK. Yeah. So it is
So
overall requirement, then the performance, what you are looking for from the library. And so there are many aspects based on which you decide for your particular case. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Thanks.
and one more point that I would like to add, that we also decide libraries depending on the library have, because there might be some bug in the version, the current version that you are using. So there should be some improvement happening, like the new project, new versions happening, so that the library will improve. So we also there is one more parameter that is the support. The library should have some support. If there is some bug or you find something is not working properly, so there somebody is there to fix that also. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So like Flask. So for web application, that is the well-known framework. So it has support. So that's why everybody's picks Flask or Django. So this is just an example that I'm giving. Okay. So this is one of the parameters that we use for deciding which library.
One more thing I would like to add is, Patrick, we have introduced class in this week. So using class, you can actually create your own libraries and you can use that as an additional module for your programs. But yes, not every task you can write your own function. It will be very cumbersome and will be very time consuming. So for those tasks, you may consider using some external libraries. There are some websites where you can refer to some libraries like PyP. But yeah, for the kind of task you are using, you may try to go with the popular ones which have better support and which are used by the industry. So because the support also matters, some of the function as the Python is a evolving language. So in the next version, you may not get support for the same library. So you have to consider that as well when you are trying to go with a specific library. So I hope this answers to your questions.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, thank you, Patrick. So we have that final question from, I'll take this as a final question because persistent team, they had committed, 10 more minutes with us. So Aditya, please feel free to ask your question.
Sir, I want to ask Python the right language for like learning that the complex algorithm, because like usually what we do is, I'm asking from the industry point of perspective, like we will do either ML or like we will use some data science. So do we need that complex programming logic which we learned in the that courses, like that corner cases and that all stuff?
Okay, so I'll first put it to the development team, persistent team. Then I'll provide my answer to it. Yeah, Kalpesh and others, you can take a shot at it. So the question is, in complex situations like machine learning and data science, that this program is actually leading to, is Python the correct language, or
No,
I mean,
actually, that's not the question. I was asking like that for the complex algorithm which we usually write, like we include the corner cases and like the other things. Like, do we need that thing for using Python, that machine learning and the deep learning or something like data analysis? I believe those things are not like that much level of algorithmic knowledge is not required in that stuff. I wanted to ask this.
Okay. Yeah. So, does anyone of you want to address it? One part of it.
JK, I would like to answer Aditya. So, Aditya, in machine learning or data science role, there will be 10 or 20% of the time when you actually work on model. But most of the time, what you do is a data munging or data wrangling task. It is something you can relate with data engineering. And there you may have to write few Python code, which are very specific, which may cover some corner cases. So if you don't have a good grip of the language, you may not able to accomplish the task in the given time. You may have to struggle there, and that's why if you have a good foundation, good understanding of what are the corner cases of like using dictionary or list or a function, like how you can use a function with different type of parameters. If you know these concepts very well, that time will be diminished very much. So you will be able to write better code and efficient code in a short period of time.
Basically, so you're telling about data pre-processing, sort of that thing.
Yes.
Sir, I have a quick question. Something. Can I ask?
Yeah.
Okay. So 2-3 question I have with that. Like that that class we are learning, no? So the last week there was a pandas. So I thought that sir will teach more in the panda also. So there is only 1 week left. So what will we learn in that? That is the one question. Another was that can sometimes we think that can we learn the distributed system or the parallel programming through the Python, because this will not be the part on the algorithm and the Python. So where can we learn this thing in the depth? So I can decide that where should use, where not use, like the distributive system programming through the Python and the parallel programming through the Python.
Okay.
So
Kumar, you want to take the first question regarding pandas?
Okay.
Yes. So that any advanced class also will be in Panda, or that one is the last?
So for this particular this curriculum, Kumar, we are sticking to the fundamentals. But yes, pandas will be covered in many other courses that is being lined up. So in the ML Foundation and deep learning, you will be getting learning more about the pandas. So that's why we have just introduced pandas in this course. So so that you can be familiar when it comes in the upcoming courses.
Okay, I got it. And sir, that this thing, second question.
Yeah, so the second question regarding parallel programming, I think, see, parallel programming might, I'll have to look at the elective list. Currently, it is not part of the main curriculum, but you can also opt for NPTEL courses in parallel programming. That is also one more way in which you can actually look at it. Uh, and I believe there is some equivalence that will be done for NPTEL courses, right? So yeah, so what is essential for the fundamental part of it might be covered in the future terms. But yeah, we may not have a dedicated course on parallel programming in Python. That we have to look at it. I mean, is it absolutely essential as a core course? That is something that the curriculum designing, the faculty have to decide.
And JK, one more thing I would like to add here. I'm not sure if this process, parallel programming or distributed programming, may be part of the curriculum we have on system commands. So because there we may deal with some processes, so probably that may be covered in some of the topics. So I'm not sure about this, but that looks more appropriate to that course.
Yeah, so but it won't be dealt in detail like what Kumar asked. I mean, it's not like a full course on parallel programming.
No, sir. I asked that question because the whatever the nowadays whatever the coming technology is coming in any framework, so they are mostly concentrate on the asynchronous programming, like and this is the part of parallel programming, distributed programming. These three and Python related framework. It's come with the Python inbuilt, but the many method is there to implement. So if I know that through Python itself, then it will be for us easier to make my thing instead of the some framework is making. So there I don't understand. It's take time to go in the depth understand, and you utilize my own way. So if sir will teach that like that list and set he taught, it was very wonderful. I created many things which was the super fast. Actually, it's happened only one thing, because I understood that how list and set is working in the memory, in the Python, in the core, how it is working. So if we have a core idea of these two things, so I feel more confident to play with this idea myself instead of looking on the internet. And because five different pages I look, different solution is there. So at the end we get confused. Latest whatever the framework is launching, it's always saying that it is inbuilt as synchronous, made in the Python. So these all three things we can do also through the Python. So why not learn in the Python how actually it is working? So my motto was there, this to understand how these three things work properly, so in the future if I don't get any problem.
Yeah, so Kumar, what we will do is we will, I will put this to the faculty committee, because they will be taking a call on electives and the other courses. So definitely we will look into this aspect of it. But yeah, let me take this opportunity to thank the persistent team, because they had committed till 9. I'm not keeping them long in this session. Kalpesh and team, thanks a lot for lending a helping hand today. Thanks, Mrunal, for showing the live coding. And yeah, everyone, Dhananjay, Ashish, Nikhil, Utkarsh, thanks for chipping in today.
Just
We
one
will
more
have
thing.
the students. Yeah,
Sorry,
students
Nikhil.
will continue asking questions, but yeah, feel free to drop off at any point from now. We will connect later and we will discuss more on this session on a later date.
Yeah, Christian sir. Can I just quickly ask one thing? Just can the from the industrial point of view, industrial point of view, I'm just asking, the Kumar sir answered my question, but I'm just asking from the industrial point of view to them that how much is that nuanced stuff really needed in that thing, in the thing that they do?
So what is the, I mean, what do you mean by nuance? Is it
That
the corner cases?
something what we say, something nuanced stuff like the corner cases, or that's if I'm finding an algorithm, then at this case it fails, or that case it fails, that thing I want to ask.
Okay, let me answer to Aditya's question. So my explanation was not related to any algorithm, Aditya, but yeah, before applying those algorithms, those models, you may have to do some kind of pre-processing, like reading from reading data from SQL Server or any database, and you are trying to do some kind of transformation into it or some kind of mapping into it. So in that case, you need to know how those values are being converted, what are the corner cases that is happening while the data conversion happens. Sometimes you may not get the expected data, what you were expecting. Sometimes you will get the null value. Sometimes you will get some exceptional characters, those some characters that is not in the readable format. So those kind of cases, you need to understand how you can deal with it.
What is that probability, what's the occurrence of such situations,
Yeah, so I will let, yeah, before, yeah, so Aditya, just hold on. So Kalpesh and team, you can just answer this question and drop off. I think you will be the best set of people to handle it.
Yeah, Aditya, the thing what you are asking is very important in terms of industry. Like we cannot just handle the success scenarios. What is more important is to handle the failure scenarios. Like you are using any application on the website, right? It has to be a fail-proof website or application which you have to develop. So the scenarios what you are saying, the corner cases and all, so that those are very important to be handled, and they should, if you don't handle those, then there are chances of your application being crashing or your website is crashing. So it is always important to handle the corner cases with the success scenarios, because success scenarios you can easily handle. So it is more difficult to handle the corner cases, which you can get by testing that thing again and again or more testing. So for an industry point of view, if you say those cases are slightly more important than the success scenarios, also I can see.
Yeah, Kalpesh, one more question. How much probability do you see those kind of scenarios happening? I know the answer, but it would be nice to hear from you.
That's the most scenarios. What you the failures are the most thing which you occur, right? If you don't handle it.
Yeah, the main reason for these corner cases appearing frequently is a lot of customers have their own set of tools that they use, their security systems, their security softwares they use, and each of them has different rules, and they customize them according to their needs. And that's why there are a lot of scenarios which we have never thought of while developing or while even designing the software. So that happens. That's why we get a lot of corner cases and a lot of then customer escalations.
Yeah, so just to add on the Swayam portal that we have lakhs of students over there. So even if for 5 minutes the system goes down, there are lakhs of students who might not be able to submit assignment, or they are submitting assignment at that point of time. So it will cause a lot of issues.
Oh, Mrinal, don't even go to that area. We are still getting complaints from students that 11:59 they submitted and it didn't get submitted in this online degree portal also. So, so,
Got it, sir.
so
Very thank you.
So see, Aditya, it is very important. And I'll tell you very latest thing. A parenthesis actually broke a code. I mean, this is as of yesterday. I mean, this is something that we have seen just yesterday. A course, I mean, a text having a parenthesis actually broke some other dependent process. So it is actually a big complex system. I mean, whatever we develop, it is not a single piece of code. It is huge amount of a huge number of lines of code spread across multiple things. And yeah, one mistake, one thing not tested properly can give rise to very catastrophic results. So yeah, with this note, I thank the entire Persistent team for spending time with us. I hope their inputs, whatever they did today, coding with all of you would have been helpful for all of you also, whoever has joined the session. We plan to conduct such sessions in future, but this is just an initial place where we thought we'll just try it out and see it. So thanks a lot, guys. Yeah, so for people who I mean, students who attended this session, please provide us your feedback because they would also want to hear from you. This is the first time that I mean, they came in for a session, so they would also benefit a lot from your inputs. What went right, where some things could be improved. Please do write to us. We'll be more than happy to look at your queries and convey the same to the Persistent team. So thanks all of you. Yeah, the students can still wait. We will be still available for 10-15 minutes to address your queries. Yeah, and Persistent team guys, if you are interested, you can still continue. This will be our usual. Our students will be cribbing about a lot of other things, but yeah, it's okay. You can sit and listen if you find it amusing. Yeah. So yeah, now we will continue. Any other questions from generally on programming? Generally something that we want to look at in terms of the course itself, Introduction to Python, and any major queries on programming exam. I'll be happy to address them. So Kumar is there, I am there. You can ask your questions now. You can raise your hand and we'll come to you.
Sir, I'm not able to raise hands. So can I ask one question related exam?
Yeah, just hold on, Kumar. There is one hand raise that happened earlier. Yeah. So Sunita, so I'll give you a chance, Kumar. Okay, after the first query. Yes, Sunita.
I have a suggestion. I mean, in the sense that just now we had the Persistent team giving us codes related to activity question. I mean, I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I felt it is a good approach of having industry perspectives as well. But along with that, I would like you to not avoid the activity session that we had regularly. I mean, Karthik sir's session were very knowledgeable sessions. I mean, even if I have not gone through the entire week lecture, I could actually go through his videos and his live sessions and could actually code. So I would request you to not do away with that particular session. Have this along with that as well. So that
Absolutely.
would be my suggestion.
So the industry sessions are just add-ons. Okay. So our regular session schedules will not be disturbed at all. The industry sessions are specific sessions where we want I mean, where we want, so we want to link academia with industry. So many a times what we hear is whatever you learn in a course is only relevant for that course, and it is not actually useful in industry, right? So we want to bridge that gap, and that is why. And we thought activity session may be one good place where they can at least start off. Okay.
Yeah.
So whatever you see as this session, this is just a pilot session. We will discuss the modalities and we'll come up with more number of sessions like this. But we will not disturb the regular activity session regular live sessions in any way.
Yeah, that would be fine. I encourage you to do this. Actually, this is very good. But along with that, the activity sessions that we generally had are very helpful as well, solving the graded assignments going ahead.
Absolutely. Yeah. We are not going to throw that away.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Thank you.
So this is not a shortcut for IIT team to do less work. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, Kumar. So Sunita, any more queries?
No, nothing else. Thanks.
So you can
lower my hand. Yeah.
Yeah, you can lower your hand. Patrick, you can also lower your hand if you're not asking question. Kumar, you can ask your question.
Okay, sir. Sir, first of all, what type of question will be there? Like a PPA or GRPA type of question?
Kumar, so one big thing about IIT is expect the unexpected. Okay.
Actually, no. I'm talking about the practical question, which will happen in the 1st August.
That's what. So see, one thing. Okay, we will not go beyond any of the concepts that were discussed. Okay, let me give you a very a top level gyan. When you are getting a degree from any institute, the kind of problems that are thrown at you and how you are trying to solve it is what distinguishes you. Distinguishes that the institute from one institute to another. Okay, so one thing that I can assure you is we will not give you a problem that cannot be solved in using any of the things that you have already learned. So all the problems will be based on whatever we have discussed till now. Many of the problems you may be also familiar across the week. But yeah, I mean, exactly what will come, I would keep it still. I would not be disclosing too much details because one, I don't know what they are coding, what they are framing the question. But second thing is, yes, to give you some exposure to the type of questions, we will have a mock quiz. I think this was clearly written down in the announcement email. There will be a mock set of questions that will be provided to you. So based on the mock questions, the difficulty levels will be almost equivalent. So you could get the sense of difficulty level from those mock questions itself. Okay. Yeah.
Okay, sir. My purpose was to ask that question because sometimes I don't have a writing program, a problem in writing program. The problem is that question idea is there to think about the all possibility, like that GRPA type of question. If some public case is given, then it is easy to run that. But to run the private cases, we need some time to think what is other the possibilities. So we take a time to think in the possibilities. So I just worry about that, how much time we will get, because only problem is sometimes.
Don't worry about time or anything. Whatever you know to solve it. Okay, so it should not be a mad rush to just get enough marks. I think so something very foundational that we want to tell all learners. Yes, your GPAs, your marks, everything is important, but at the end of the day, it's not about getting marks. It's all about what you have learned, right? You are doing this degree out of the passion for learning. In search of marks, if you go in search of marks, if you try to optimize yourself a lot for marks, you may actually lose out on that passion. And then what is the difference between learning in a, I mean, what you did from first standard to 12th standard in schools and what you are learning right now? It is not a mad rush to solve problems or get marks. It is also, I mean, you are learning for learning, right? So have this in mind and approach the problem. I think you will be very well placed. I don't see a problem in that. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. Yeah, Cherian. So you are the next person. Cherian.
Hello, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had two questions regarding the exam on Sunday, August 1st.
Okay.
One is, will it be in the same format that we had on 20th? That is, those who can't install SIA and Electron, should we just record the screen using VLC and position the phone so that the proctor can see us?
Yes, it will be the same. It will be the same format as last time.
Okay, so I don't have to struggle to install the SIA and Electron and all that.
No. So if there won't be an Electron app, it will be, yeah. What we'll ask is only SIA if you can do it, else it's a screen recording, the easiest of it.
The second question regarding the exam is like, how long would it be? Is it a 1 hour or a 2 hour exam?
I think it will be somewhere between 1 to 2 hours, because a 1 hour exam, the maximum number of programming assignment, it should also be worthwhile to do that also, right? I mean, with a 1 hour exam, possibly you may solve 2 problems, 3 problems, maybe 4 to an extent. So I would say the number of problems would be slightly more, and so we will actually work that out ourselves before giving it to you. The number of problems will be commensurate to the amount of time that we are providing.
Okay. And just one last question regarding this, the industry session just now. Is Persistent Systems responsible for the course portal?
Okay, so you asked it exactly when all the Persistent team left. No, so Persistent team is handling a portal called Swayam, where the NPTEL courses are there. For the IIT Madras online degree portal, we have a separate development team that does these, the development.
Okay, thank you, sir.
I know why you asked, but yeah, unfortunately, it's not Persistent Systems. But we'll try to, someday we will try to bring them also for the industry, this kind of sessions with all of you.
It would be quite nice if you could have some kind of a provision for all the students who are using the portal to file issues so that your bug fixing gets easier.
Yeah. So we have something on card. So see, we are looking at all the upvotes to the different posts in discourse. We are also identifying people who are doing it, and internally we are also thinking of creating a small team of students who would help the development team in testing, and we'll properly interface the student team with the development team, and we are using discourse as our benchmark. We look at how much constructive comments are coming. So a lot of things can be deciphered from discourse, right?
Yeah.
So yes, it is on cards. You will soon hear it. We don't want to burden you with one more task amidst a very torrid term, right? For all of you, it has been one big ride, which is I think it's mixed. I would say from the responses that we get, I think it is not up and down. It's more of downhill that many of you are commenting from your comments that we see. But yeah, we don't want to burden you during the term. But once the term is over, we are explicitly thinking of doing this activity where we bring in students closer to the development team also at some point.
Thank you, sir. I had only those questions.
Sure.
Sir, can we directly come in touch with the mentors for any?
Not now. It will have to go through us fully. They have provided us some time to amongst their busy schedules, so we have to respect it. All this is like one-off exercise where they come in voluntarily, right? So we also have to respect it in some sense. Yeah. So Pritodeep, yes, you are next.
Yes, sir. Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Yeah. Good evening, sir. It was great to see you after so many days.
Yeah, same here.
Sir, I had a suggestion actually. I just wanted to report that this session, the industry session, there was nothing on the calendar that designated it as a special session. It just seemed like any other code activity session. So I would
It
like to
was
suggest.
purposely meant like that because the moment we say industry session, there will be 300, 400 people who will come in, right? We actually wanted to see what is happening in a real life session. So that's why we have completely downplayed the industry card to it. So think of industry people as any other person who is coming for this session. And yeah, we just wanted to take it off from there. If people like it, see, we also need both set of people to understand what is there on the other side also, right? So let's say students do not feel that this session is to their liking, then yeah, we may have to think of other mechanisms of making this interaction possible. But yeah, so yeah, the long story short, the session was clearly said code with us, right?
Yes, sir.
So
Yes, sir.
that's what, yeah, code with us is what we wanted to do. And yeah, I mean, we may not have done complete code with us, but yeah, to a certain extent, what we thought is yes, we will keep these kind of things open. And this is also one more incentive for people to come to regular live sessions, right?
Yes, sir. That's correct. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. It's precisely due to that why we have downplayed it a little.
So even in the future, it will be a similar nomenclature. Nothing very specific or that like.
No. So the moment, let's say, persistent team comes on board, we will have proper mentoring sessions. So it's not just persistent team whom we are in touch with. We are in touch with a lot of industries. We are trying to get a lot more pool of mentors. So like what I said to the first person, I think it was these are all sessions which are we are thinking of as add-ons, and primarily we want people who are not confident of coding, who are not well versed with coding, to get the maximum help through these sessions.
Yes, sir. Understood. And sir, one more thing I would like to ask about, not ask actually, just a suggestion regarding the actual exam that we have on August 1st. So the last time we had an online exam that was on June 20th. The communication regarding it was somewhat chaotic, I'd say. Like just a personal feeling. Like 2 days before the exam, we were introduced to a new set of apps which we had to try. We faced a lot of bugs. So I just want to suggest like something like that should be avoided for this exam. Maybe like some like these new announcements could be made well ahead of time so that we can test and check everything. And maybe if something similar to the SCTs, if they can be conducted, then it would be great.
Yeah, so that's what we said, na. So that's why we have put in at least 2 weeks in advance. I hope that time is good enough to announce. But yeah, so the other aspects of what the processes are, we also have to get the approval from class committee. That is why we have not shared the thing, but it will be exactly similar to the June 20th exam. There will be one mobile device. If you can install SIA and do it, then that's good. Otherwise, we will have you doing screen recordings. Yeah, other than that, there won't be any difference to the modalities or even the standard operating procedures. It will be exactly the same.
Sure, sir. Sure. That was reassuring. I'll send you a link to a discourse post that I think deserves your attention in the chat box later on. That I
Yeah,
had all my
I
queries.
mean, yeah. So I think I have been away from discourse for almost a month now.
Yes,
I
sir.
it's
And I
high
was
time that
genuinely
I should.
concerned, like whether you're okay or not regarding your health and everything.
No, 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 no. It's okay. I mean, yeah. I mean, I'm stuck with. So see, all of you writing so many answer sheets. Yeah, it's a partial duty of mine also to make sure that it gets answered, it gets corrected. People evaluate you properly. All those things are part of my responsibility also. So that's why, yeah, 10,000 answer sheets is no no small job, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, so that's what is happening. So yes, I've been slightly busy with my regular work schedule, so I've not been able to spend time in discourse. But I think from next week onwards, I'll be able to spend a little bit more time, and we'll have more of professional speak and all those sessions coming up in August. So
Sure, sir.
that's on card. Yeah.
Thank you,
Okay.
sir.
Yeah.
Thank you. Have a nice
Yeah.
day.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, Aditya, please go ahead.
Yeah, I had two questions. First question, regarding the online exam, if there is an online exam, so there will be option like for testing the whether the code passed the private cases and how many it passed as in graded assignments. First question was this, and the next question was that can't there be an offline exam? Like the online exam is a big problem. Like it becomes very tough.
Okay, to answer your question number one, we'll be using exactly the same portal for the programming exam. So you will be able to see, you will be able to do test run and see whether the private cases have been passed or not. Regarding second part of it, yes, if ideally we would also have wanted in-person proctored exam than an online exam. But see, two things. One is TCS does not support. I mean, the current TCS platform does not support coding, and coding at scale is another big thing. So it has not been completely tested out. So we cannot completely rely on our exam partner at this moment. That is why we are doing online exam. Uh, even if we go for any other solution providers, all of them have only online only solutions available. So we thought, okay, I mean, people are more familiar with our programming portal, and the exam also happens over here. So that is why we are doing online exam using our portal. It's completely, and see, the August one is a tentative date. This has to this also has to get approved in the class committee. The modalities, uh, what will happen if somebody does not, I mean, some technical glitch happens, somebody is not able to do on August 1st. Many of you, I mean, some of you are having other exams, some of you are traveling, all those things are there. So all these have to be covered, discussed in the class committee, and appropriate decision has to be made. So yeah,
One more
more
thing.
decisions and other things will happen in the next week. But yeah, programming exam, unfortunately, we don't have a service provider who will do in center proctored exam. That's why we are going with online exam.
Okay, one more thing, last time there was a certain problem, the tabs were whenever we were submitting the answers, it was the multiple tabs were opening, multiple please click submit, and it was going multiple times.
Yeah. Yes.
So that problem, if it could be rectified in this, it will be.
Sure. So we have rectified it. We are actually testing it out also. So this time around, we hope that it will. I mean, yeah, we are again. It's a software system, so we are like 99% hopeful that that issue will not happen. It was primarily due to some kind of caching happening, that you are getting those continuous okay kind of what do you say, the alert buttons coming, right? So we hope that that will get reduced. It will be significantly reduced this time around.
Just one more thing, like regarding the that, like, do we need to necessarily use Chrome browser? Like, I found that, like, on the Chrome, like, my personally happened, like, I did when I was typing like the thing, like in the chat box, like S button got pressed, okay, and settings got opened. I was not actually familiar with Chrome a lot, so I was familiar with Edge. So could I give the exam in Edge? Is there any specific
You
guideline
will
that
have
it has to be in Chrome browser?
So we recommend Chrome because we have extensively tested this in
Actually, I
Chrome.
had that problem. Like, I didn't expected that thing, and I tested that same thing on the Edge. Like, that was not happening. Like, there's a keyboard maps, like what, like, as if we press continuously, like, or like 1 to 2 times it happens, then automatically the setting tab will get open. There was something like that. I tried it on the
Okay.
Edge. That thing was not happening, and I was much
So have
more
you
familiar.
I mean, do you regularly use the Edge for the portal?
Yeah. Like 6 hours on my browser only. Yeah, 5 to 6 hours. Yeah.
So the NPTEL the Seek portal for online degree you open using Edge right now.
Yeah.
Do you
99%
face
times.
do you face any issues while submitting programming assignment or doing anything on that?
No issues. Actually, it is
So
also based on Chromium browser. Na? Like, there's no.
correct. Yeah. So see, but again, see, the thing is, yes, we do test it out in all the browsers. Edge is also one browser where we test it out. I don't expect it to have too much of issues, but yeah, I mean, why we say is because it's Chrome and it's completely the product is also based out of the Google Course Builder. We see better performances and best rendering happening in Chrome compared to Edge. But I think now
Actually,
Edge
like,
is also
yeah, one thing, like, in Chrome, there are many more shortcuts. Like, if you are using like that, if by mistake also it get pressed, like in Edge, there are no such shortcuts. Like, some buttons are there, but not that much. In Chrome, there are very many shortcuts, like for each thing. So that.
I understand it. See, 99% Edge should work because we are also testing on that. We don't see too many problems in it. But yeah, I mean, if you feel you are comfortable with Edge, I don't see a problem in you using Edge for the thing. I mean, we recommend Chrome because we know that in Chrome the number of issues will be less. But see, as we said today with the developers, any corner case that comes, there is always a probability. I mean, 4,000 people writing an exam on the same day during the same time. Some untoward thing can happen, right? I mean, moon blow or I don't know who is to blame, right? Something that's supposed to go wrong will go wrong, right? That's the theory, right? So, I mean, I would not, I would not officially say don't use it, but what I would recommend is use Chrome if you feel more comfortable with it. Try to, if there is a way to adjust the key settings and shortcuts, that would be something that I would encourage you to do. But see as far as possible, see whether uh, it is doable. Otherwise, I don't think Edge is also a problem. I don't see too much of issues while you are using Edge.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Okay, I see Srinath. Yeah, Srinath, you have a question? Srinath, you can unmute yourself and ask the question.
Oh, sorry. Sir, hi, sir. I'm Srinath here. I just have a clarification on administering the exam in an offline center in this COVID times. But somehow, against my what I like somehow these quiz exams were being proctored very well. I was a little nervous whether to go personally to an offline center, as I had had a bad experience in my previous quizzes where we were all seated next to each other. Somehow in this uh, in this current highly transmissible variant, I was a little nervous, but somehow in the center where I took the test, it has been administered very well. I have no issues on that. But over the next 1 month, when the third wave is about to start, or some media updates are coming on that, so my suggestion is just you please consider on that aspect also as well when you try to conduct a theory exam or an end exam, as we shouldn't be caught off guard, because it's a transmissible.
Srinath. So Srinath, we are on the lookout consistently. So see, this August 8th is, as on date, TCS has confirmed that yes, this exam will happen, but it is all subject to the situation that happens on August 7th, right?
My question is, see, I had sent a couple of mails, but somehow you have proctored this current quiz in a very well way. I really appreciate it because considering my past experience in the last sem where we were all seated next to each other, I had to go through. I was feeling with this quiz also I may be end up with like that, but somehow this one went on very well. But we may not be certain because this is a transmissible variant which we may pass on to the other family members, and it may affect the entire family. So just for the theory exam at least, or if it's a very prime exam like end exam, we may be as well be ready to visit an offline center and take it, because there's a possibility that people you can't offer some on people to take off online exams wherein there's a possibility of like cheating or anything of that sort, and it may not be wise enough. So the end exam is okay, I understand, but this theory for Python you may be able to do it online also. I believe if next wave starts, if some worry on the next wave begins, that's what.
No, so the theory exam, see, what we are doing is the end term exam, it is being split into two parts, theory and practical. Okay. The practical is what we are doing online, because otherwise it will be like one more day or an extensive set of hours. And yes, we don't have the capability. I mean, we don't have an exam partner who can run programming exams for us.
Yeah.
So
no, this is just my suggestion. You please keep in mind, and thanks for the clarification. You please keep in mind about the third wave, which the media is over exaggerating. I'm not sure. I hope it's an over exaggeration, but since it's all coming together, I just want you to keep in mind. That's
Sure. See,
I didn't get any reply on my emails, because I didn't get any reply on my emails, which I had sent just prior to this quiz. But somehow I really appreciate the way there's this. You've administered this quiz, which was against what I thought, which was belied my belief.
All those people who are supposed to answer your quiz were running across centers and making sure that things are in place. So big kudos should go to our exam partner who ensured that the SD 500 mandates regulations were followed to the letter. I mean, see, in many places, because of the last, I think the May experience, everyone was wary, but I think our exam partner did a fantastic job in ensuring that things are in place, and rooms got sanitized, everything was in place. And we had also seen that they were conducting other exams like the SBI bank exam that happened. Then there was the CA exam that got happened. There was, I think, railway recruitment that got happened. So there, it was not. I mean, we didn't just announce the day. We saw that enough things are happening, and then only we announced it. And even for August 8th, the biggest reason why we are going for August 8th is because JEE is happening from July 23rd to August 2nd. Okay, so if they can conduct, if TCS can conduct a large scale exam like JEE without any issues, I think you could be pretty confident. We are only, I think, 1/100th of JEE at this moment. Yes. I mean, not even 100th. I think we are in 1000 because this is a JEE mains. So I think we are in, I mean, we will be in a safe, comparatively safe position. Yeah, I will still not say safe. I would say comparatively it would be better, and I think the arrangements would also be on those lines.
Okay, sure. Thanks for the question.
Yeah. So, I believe we have overshot our clock by a long distance. I'm getting calls from my family now. So, I think, I mean, thanks a lot for people who have stayed on till now. I think we will formally close this session. Kumar, anything to add on to what I just said?
No, JK. I think we are good to close.
Yeah. So really thanks for all the people who have joined in today. Unfortunately, it's almost 10 o'clock. So we have to wind up the session right now. Yes, Srinath, you had a question or is it the same?
No more questions, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, sure.
It was very assuring.
Yeah. Don't worry. Yeah. So
have a nice day, sir. No more questions. Thank you.
Yeah, sure. So have a great day to all of you. And so for all, I mean, tell your friends not to worry about programming exam because it's the same thing that you have already studied. Uh, yeah, and we will announce more of these sessions in the upcoming week. We'll have to take a stock of what happened. All those who attended, please send us your feedback on how the session was so that we can also work with many more such industries and give you much better practice, much better sessions in the days to come. So that's it from our side. I think we can close. Studio team, I think you can stop the YouTube live right now. And I think we are good to close the session. Thanks everyone and good night from our side.